Up here, entering into the second quarter of the year, of the first year of my presidency. Oh, that sounds nice. I'd rather it be my popedom. But anyway, that'd be an interesting game, something like this where you're the Pope, you have very few levers to play with. So after bureaucratic incompetence foiled any attempts to get any legislation passed in, say, the first 100 days or whatever, and there's no legislature actions in the second, comes up again in the third. I've been focusing mainly on foreign affairs, in particular trying to lessen the risk of the Middle East blowing up into something ugly. Managed to get into better shape with China in a number of ways, although there is an action point there that's kind of dangerous. And gotten kind of a lucky draw in Russia. I don't feel like ignoring them hurt me too much. I am ignoring a couple of areas where there are problems, say Africa. Yeah, no shit. U.S. always ignores Africa, right? And Central South Asia, which is a little bit perhaps more dangerous, but we're doing what there's a rogue state there, right? You know, that's problematic. I don't even have that here. Unable to resolve that civil war that I was working on a little bit. These priorities, I failed in all of my POTUS cabinet focuses. One good thing is the horrible scandal that came out of my election itself, the extra family or whatever the hell it was, I managed to clear that up. And I have pretty good public approval. I'm a little low on action points. I've eaten up a lot of those in that first quarter, and I'm not really thrilled about that. Burning them for modifiers and such not. I may actually have to trade actions in for points because I don't feel like doing things is all that valuable if I'm not getting if I'm not getting good odds on them. Like just trying to shotgun a lot of stuff, especially where there's possible negatives. Most of the cards that have come up have ended up in the discard pile, so I'll never see them again, at least in this term. They could get shuffled in the next term, assuming I make it that far. I did have some thoughts about the auto win position. That feels like such a cheat to me. Like the idea that your presidency is just over. You know, you've automatically won without even having to stand for re-election or whatever. Maybe the concept of that is something, you know, I don't know, like where you'd be so popular and such sort of a powerful force that the game can no longer handle what's going on with it. I think it's only in the easiest version, though. And again, it feels like kind of a cheat to me that is even possible. Let's see. Yeah, if you're playing on normal or harder, you don't get this. So if I do get that, I'm going to ignore it. I don't buy it, right? Like you should have to stand. It's not in the normal version of the game or higher. It's only in that easy version, which I really don't feel like I should be playing, but I don't want to be hammered too hard. I want to get some kind of view, at least on this first playing. All right, anyway, that's where we are. I'm going to go out and read for a while. Probably not a beer, probably just tea. But I want to at least enjoy the outside, and I don't really feel like doing any work outside. It's still light enough I could, but it's also light enough I can read. Back up here, it's past 10 p.m. You know, I sat out, read for a while, maybe an hour or so. Feels like it should be longer than that. And then went to try and watch the sunset, but I got there a little too early. Just walked right back. And then an hour more passed. I don't know, doing what? Watching vids, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to understand. I did eat a little something. So here we are at the beginning of the second quarter. And we open up with a quick chit draw. This could go several. Let's see what we get. Oh, fistful of cards, but no plus. So we're going to be down to here. Let's see what the cards do for us. EU countries centralize and coordinate anti-terror. That sounds good. I don't know what's not immediate. These things aren't immediate. I don't know what else. Make two initial intel gathering against two terror groups in the Eurozone, both with a -1 DRM in addition to any other applicable DRMs. I don't have any terror there. So that's not going to happen. If after those attempts there is a terror group in the target fixed, make a raid. For the rest of the game, all intel attempts in the Eurozone get a -1 DRM, and we get a marker for that. And this goes away. I gotta find this -1 DRM. These are just APs. I don't know. I'll have to look for it. It's got to be kind of an individual counter, I guess. There's one such counter. I'll just put it there. I hope there aren't more cards that are kind of like this, or I'll have to make counters. But I guess that's cool. That was one. I got two more left. Keep those there. Second one. Pakistan shells Indian border troops in Kashmir. Yeah, that doesn't sound happy. Place two tensions counters in India and one on China. Oh boy, all kind of stuff. Increase India-Pakistan conflict by 1 box, +1 regional conflict in South Central Asia. Okay, I'll do those things. Now let's do the last card. Hijacked attempted link to a foreign terror cell. Make a Homeland Security check. It's a D10. It's not giving me anything special to say about it. So I think I just look for Homeland Security, which is not here. I don't know where it is. Well, fuck. I honestly have no idea where I'm going to find this. Homeland Security. Is it here? Is it over in CONUS? You would think it would be. I don't know what it is. Well, we're left with the hope that we can find it here. Never heard of it. 27. Cool. It's in here. Okay, apparently there's a track for it. It's in D18. Okay, well, apparently there's some sort of track that has Homeland Security on it. Because eating up all the information on here is hard to do, I'm looking at everything. There it is. How about that? Okay, well, since it's given me a thing, we'll look at D18, which should be the back. It's a standard track check. I could write in D10 here. Kind of tells me that. It's got the picture. Good enough. That's a success. Hijack thwarted. +1 public approval. Yay. We caught the underwear bomber. Also, if Homeland Security check result is a 1 through 3, it is. You have identified the terror group responsible and retaliate. Roll for a random region. Okay. Region 2, Central America. There is a terror group there. And decrease a terror group of your choice in that region by 1 level. Well, that's kind of cool. This card goes away. These are not singular events, for the most part. They're things that, you know, it makes sense that they might come back in the next, in next administration or whatever. I can see that, yeah, removing it from my 4 years, that's fair. But, yeah. Okay. And we flipped this away. 3 actions, core support check. I don't know what that's going to be. We'll worry about that when it happens. Well, let's look at it. It's just going to be a public approval. Yeah, so this is the thing where if my base is too strong, it's going to diminish me. So I'm not really caring too much about that, but I've got any 3 actions. My cabinet members aren't involved. This gives me a whole view. So I'll come back after I figure out these 3. First one, I'm going to do a decrease. I'll do these one at a time, probably. I'm going to do a decrease tensions with India. That lets me get rid of both tensions markers. It's just a sort of a no-brainer. I don't want all that tension there. I would like. I'm worried about this conflict status. That's very frightening to me. And this one. So I'm going to do things to try to reduce those. I don't really want wars. Which might be interesting is actually, hey, I mean, yes, it's possible this war could cause me an issue. But maybe I could let it happen and try to win it. I definitely don't want the India-Pakistan war that's going on, though, so I'm going to work on that one first. Let's take a look at that. We're going to do a de-escalate a conflict. Just costs us an action. Choose a conflict track. Roll. I get an automatic -1 for easy game. Another -1 for Secretary of State. So that gets me a -2. And it's pretty good. I get a good roll. Decrease conflict by 1 to begin with. Okay. Place a trending pro-U.S. counter on the relations with the U.S. and or on the region. An ally is involved, so yes. Let's look at this. We'll get rid of that. Did not mean to pick them both up. And remove 1 tension from each country involved. Well, Pakistan doesn't exist, and India's not an issue. That's interesting. What about North Korea? I mean, I really don't want a war there, do I? I don't know. I'm going to look at what might happen if there is a war. Might we be able to sort of win it? In which case, maybe it's better to just let them continue to be bad. I don't think a war is a good thing, but I can tell you this. Right now, this is not pleasant. So I'm going to try to arm the Republic of Korea instead. Now, this costs 1 action. No, not this. Arms sales. It's cost 1 action and an AP unless Secretary of Defense has a rating, which he does. So I will try to... do I have tensions with North Korea, or with the Republic of Korea? I do not. Tensions with Japan. Move 1 tension. Select an ally who's very close. I'm not very close. No, I am very close. Increase allied, place 1 AP on that ally. Either remove 1 tension from that ally or from an enemy with whom he shares major arms sale. If that ally has a conflict track, move the relative strength 1 box in favor. If the selected conflict, place 2 tension. If it's Israel, place 2 on Iran. If it's ROK, put 2 on North Korea. Ooh. I'm going to go with the joint maneuvers. And we roll a d10, -1 with possible re-roll. Subtract Secretary Def, so -2. Okay, we remove a tension from the ally. There aren't any. Increase the ally's relative strength by 1, which is what I really wanted to do. This could do it as well, but this felt more possible, and put a +1 AP on that ally. So I shift this, and I make the Republic of Korea a little bit stronger in case they act again. This is a tension marker. Why did I not remove it? I don't know. It had to be revealed for some reason, but it didn't have to be removed, and I don't know what's going on with that. I'm going to just leave it there. I feel like somehow the game state has gotten out of control in that, though, and I'm really not sure what's going on. Let me look up tension, see if there's ever a time when you reveal one and don't remove it, because something feels very wrong, but I don't remember what caused that. It was probably a random event of some sort. It was probably an activation of something, but I don't know what letter that would be and what it was. I just can't remember. But it's likely something that like increased the tensions and whatnot. I don't know. There were cards that did that. Again, I could look. I don't know what that's going to do for me. As a general rule, whenever you're instructed to reveal tensions, they may provide DRMs for that. The tensions counters are then removed and replaced with half their number, rounded down for allies and up for other nations. So I think that's pretty clear. That +1 should not be there, so I have to put it in, shake up, and draw a new tensions marker. Party relations has a value of 2. I'm above 40%, so I go down by 2. I'm too close to my party, and it's pissing people off a little bit. Whatever. Again, at 40%, man, it just feels like, yeah, I know we're partisan as hell, but it feels a little too harsh to keep the president, like, bobbing around 40%. I know that's been the case for the last 10 years. I don't know if it adequately covers the whole period very well. Again, I keep turning to the, W after 9/11 being up around 90%. And he sure the hell didn't win the game by doing that. He ended up with, not a particularly, especially in his second term, not a particularly favorable situation. All right. Now we go down here to Terror or Chaos, WT1 or 2. We roll a die. I don't know why these are always 10-sided dice. But we get a 6, that's going to be a Chaos. Increase the conflict status for a random conflict by 1 box. If that causes a war, set up the new war and the initial war progress effect. Okay. Russia, Ukraine. Ooh. Roll a d10. Make an international chaos roll, d10, on the international chaos table. Okay. Bop, bop, bop. Major Russian destabilization campaign in Eastern Europe. Increase regional crisis by 2 boxes in Eastern Europe. Oh. And place a Russian influence there. Those are on the back of the Chinese. What's that civil war? Oh, that's the Balkans War. Okay. Presumably. Now what's this? Oh, this is a die roll off of this. Should not be jutting out. That's fine though. And now we shift up. Allied Rogue Group Acts. This is going to be a Group A. Is that this book? Wah? It is. This is Group A. Okay. Perform European Union procedure to update economic trends. World economic trend, that looks like a D10. 7, slow growth, no change to the SOE. Roll a D10 for the Eurozone. It's an 8, that can't be good. EU discord, +1 to regional crisis. Oh no. These allies act only in their region except for NATO, which can affect the Eurozone and Eastern Europe. Activate NATO. Flip all tension counters. There is no tension with NATO. So we got no problem. We don't get anything else. Perform joint actions. We are very close, so we will get 2 joint actions with NATO. We get to choose these. I don't remember what they are, but I'm not going to go through my confusion once more. Just realize it's going to be there for most of the game. You know, maybe if this is one of the things, like, it takes a lot, at least for me, to start learning these kind of mechanisms when there's a whole lot going on. Yeah. I don't know why I have these here still. I get two NATO joint actions. That's what it's reminding me of, probably. One of them I'm going to do for an intel to move this terror group here. It's automatic, and I'm only allowed 1. The other, I think I want to try to stabilize. Regional crisis is not 0. Oh, wait, no. I want to get rid of the regional crisis. Oh. I will request humanitarian aid in that region. In Eastern Europe, because I want that crisis to drop. I also have to worry about other things. There's my 2 for NATO. When finished with the joint activation, make a D10 unilateral action. No tension. Okay, -1. Russia, NATO. But what Russia, NATO? Current conflict status value on Russia, NATO conflict track. That's a 2. So now I'm at +1. And there are no U.S. wars. I get a 2. Détente. -1 status on Russia-NATO conflict track. I'm in favor of that. Okay. I'd like to improve Ukraine, but... so that was this. Apply results of unilateral action roll. Yeah, okay, thanks. Then remove all of NATO's tension. We didn't have any. Now we go to the ROK. We do the same thing. We've got none. We've got a +1 AP. That's important. I don't see this. The AP allows joint actions. Okay. So that's where it is. So we are very close with the ROK. There weren't any tension. So we got 2 actions. And I'm going to do the intel because I believe getting those up is a good idea. I actually have 3 actions. I don't know what else I want to do. Stabilizing the region is definitely useful. Stabilize, stabilize, stabilize. That's the stability track. No, it's the regional crisis. I'll go for the humanitarian aid. I'm going to do it here. Try to help this area. Where's the thing that I can't do? Stabilize the region. What is? Yeah, that's something else. That's this track. I'm not really all that concerned about the regional crisis level, am I? I don't know. Like, I'm more worried about this. Yeah, let's de-escalate. I could actually do this multiple times. We get 1 de-escalation. I'm in favor of that. And I don't know, I could send humanitarian aid somewhere else. Is there somewhere more worrisome? Why don't we send humanitarian aid over into Africa? And that's successful. And we get the crises down. I'm getting tired already. After NATO and the ROK, activate Iran, flip all tensions and sanctions counters in Iran. We have a multilateral sanctions, which is a -1. If it has a -1 AP, go directly to step B. Otherwise, is Iran at war? No. Add a D10 to the Iran at peace table. What was that? Not paying attention. It has a -1 AP, yeah. It only has 1 action, so you would take it away from them. There's no tension markers there. -1. The net of tensions and sanctions on Iran brings it to -2. Israel's not at war. regional alignment is not a 6 or higher. That's interesting. So the more it's aligned with the US, the more likely Iran's going to be a problem, I think. -2 to the die roll. That's a 4. Deepen ties with Russia. Place a Russian influence in the Mideast. Not something I particularly want there. Now we jump down to B, remove all tensions in Iran and replace with half the number he removed. Remove all sanctions counter and replace with an identical number and type. Okay, so we get to keep the sanctions there. Didn't we lose sanctions somewhere else permanently? Feels like I did. Oddly enough, I don't remember. Did we fuck something up? I don't know. We had sanctions on Russia. North Korea, I don't think we rolled yet. They would have been, so they got, I don't know what's happened. But anyway, I get new sanctions there. I've been doing, I did a sort of shuffle the sanctions a little bit and then roll a die. I'm not certain that that's good enough for me, but whatever. Then check unstable states to finish this segment. Okay. How do I do that? There we go. Roll a d10 for each unstable in Central and South America. I don't remember doing this before. We got one in Central America. And I think we're going to miss lots of things. I think we're going to fuck up lots of things. Like, there were sanctions. Maybe they should have stayed. I don't remember, but I can't trace back and figure that out. Regional stability less than 5. Yes. +1. 7. It just stays. Regional unstable state here in South America. Not less than 5 this time. 6. Just stays. Okay. I think that was this entire... No. Now we have a UN Acts. Did this. Go over here. And I've got a break pretty soon. This is killing me. During each UN Acts, the UN will take the following actions. Listed on the chart below. There's a chart below with an asterisk, supposedly. Here we go. Here's the chart below. Okay. Regional crisis with the highest regional crisis. Roll a d10. Okay. We just roll. We don't roll that. That is not a d10. Okay, so we take -1 regional crisis and region with highest regional crisis level. There's 2. There's a 2. It's 2 twos. 3 twos, 4 twos. 5 twos. What's this shit? Oh, that's an economy. I'm at like 5 twos, 6 twos. Okay. That's the third of the deuces. That's here. Central America gets some humanitarian aid. Infrastructure. We succeed. Region with lowest current stability. Oh, God. Well, here it's a 6, 5, 4, 4, 2 4s. 3 4s, 3 4s. And I don't know where we started. I think it's over there in Central America. Okay, that's the third one. That'll be Africa. Did we just increase stability? That's what I would assume so. Cool. That is not a trending chart. Okay. Youth empowerment. Oh, we're just winning everywhere. Decrease one level, 2 or 3 terror group in the lowest stability region by 1 level. Resolve ties by prioritizing a region with a level 3. Okay. Lowest stability. We just looked at this. We got a 5 there. Got a 4 there. There is a terror group, but it's not big enough, so that won't count. Got a 4 here. This will count. So I'm gonna mark this for now because it's possible. Stability's higher everywhere else. So this drops down to a 1. And the Mideast is getting better and better. Civil War peace talks. Roll on the broker peace table. WM4, page 15. It's giving me a headache. Okay. For either a civil war or a CWC ceasefire in the lowest stability region that contains such a counter. All right, we have to look for, oh fuck, now we got US, oh God. This is killing me. These lookups to find the state that applies are painful. Okay, what are we looking for? Civil war in the lowest ceasefire. All right, we got a civil war here in a stability 5. Got a civil war here in stability 4. That's more appealing to them. Those are my only civil wars. No, I got a civil war here in stability 5. So we go for Syria. And what do? This is an actual civil war, not a ceasefire. It's a UN attempt, -1. No UN peacekeepers. Regional stability is less than 5. Yeah, no shit. Cancels me out. Iranian influence beneath the civil war. I don't see one. Okay. So I don't know. I think I'm at even. 6. Fighting continues. No effect. All right. Now I'm on the U.S. instigated actions or initiated actions, and I have to do this, but I also need a break. So I'm going to load a pipe and whatever. And yeah, I should not have gone into this step. I didn't realize just how painful it was going to be. I was looking at it and saying, oh, I'm not ready to do 3 domestic actions. Yeah, that would have been a lot easier than what I've dealt with so far, looking up all these stabilities and whatnot. A little bit longer in order to chatter. This is really kind of highlighting one of the big objections I have against solo games. In order to make them either a bot or a massively chaotic situation like this challenging, sometimes they're made challenging by just being made too fucking hard, you know, but where you have to optimize and luck will still barely get you through maybe. But in order to make them kind of challenging and to create enough obfuscation of what is happening and whatnot, you're just bopping around through charts, either here with this massive randomness, and I appreciate the massive randomness more, or with a bot to make its like decisions reasonable but unpredictable. You just end up paging through stuff left, right, and center, and not really getting that narrative that you want from it, right? Whereas I feel like I can get that kind of narrative off of an opposed two-player game like Twilight Struggle, playing that solo so much better than I can off of something like this. This is beginning to just be a headache of chart lookups and die rolls and this, that, and the other, and chit pulls and all that. And it's why I stay away from solo games. This one appealed to me a lot, and I still want to like it. I feel like I can, do some broad strategies without really understanding what's going on. But it is breaking my back and hurting my head to just do all this lookup on it. Up to 2 actions. My action points are low. In order to do actions, one of them is paid for with an action point, the other one with UN Goodwill. I have no UN Goodwill, so I'm only allowed 1. I do get a -1 automatically for spending an AP, so I think I'll do that. Arms control negotiations are going to cause problems with Russia or China. One of them gets pulled into it. This is weird. The purpose is decrease conflict level 3 or 4 by 1 level. Also remove 2 tensions from each side on a success. I mean, that sounds good. But I think I have to roll to do either. Like, I can't get this automatically. I can't do infrastructure aid no matter what. I get an automatic -1. And world opinion of the U.S. How does the world feel about us? The world does not care about us. So I've got a -1. I'm going to try to de-escalate, I think. Yeah, there's only 1 tension counter on DPRK. All right. I'm just looking for... I'm not happy with the regional crises in the Eurozone. That makes me unhappy. Like, that is the biggest regional crisis. So I'm going to spend 1 for the almost certain humanitarian aid there. I have a -1 on it. Actually, I have a -2. No. Yeah, I have a -1. Okay. And we succeed in dropping that, which I think is a good idea. I don't want Europe in crisis. That is going to put us to the domestic actions. Which is not here. I've got a media check. What the fuck? What's going on? I think that's part of this. It's not listed. Regardless of whether you performed any U.S. initiated, check your media relations and apply any public approval, benefit, or penalty as listed in the box on current media relations. My media relations don't help me anymore. I really need to fix that. And now we're here on the domestic actions. And we are going to break. Maybe for quite a while, because I feel kind of like going to sleep, even though it's like, I don't know, probably getting close to 11 now, but I just, I've been awake for 12 hours almost. A while back I had this no new legislation this turn. Actually, that's more extreme than I thought it was. That I had over here. This turn is pretty serious. I actually thought it was only for the one. Let's look for the bureaucratic incompetence, the clown nose. Here it is. Here it's a little different. It's in next at legislative segment. But there is a counter for that. Given that that says next legislative segment, I am going to take that counter off the board. But somebody did point out that there's something for that. It doesn't quite match the card. But okay. Again, I don't know, what is up. There might be other cards that do that, but if it was intended to have a counter on it, the card should really direct you to place this counter on X. Does this have two different sides? Yeah, this has no new legislation next segment, so that would have worked just fine. But again, cards that, if there's rare counters like that kicking around and the card or the event table or whatever doesn't instruct you to go find the counter, how am I going to remember, what all the different things are? Obviously, somebody who's played it a lot was able to remember that. But yeah, it's painful. CDGs and whatnot, some of them have learned, have some kind of little marking on it to say, put a counter down. After a couple hours of snooze with a video on, we end up seeing the sunrise, so at least there's that. And it's a good time. Sure, maybe I wanted to do something today, but the truth of the matter is, if I'm going to be getting up late enough tomorrow, I do need to get more into a night-oriented sleep schedule again. The problem every week, I want to be awake during the day if I can. My natural inclinations end up foiling me, but after enough struggle with that, I end up in this position where, it's actually a concern, am I awake too much during the day when Friday rolls around? Somebody responded that this is okay. I'll trust them on that. They caught some of the other errors. Maybe something I didn't catch. I think so. I think back with the whatever this first Allies Rogues counter came up, I think I missed the rogue states. Whatever. I am going to miss things. I'm glad to have people pointing things out, but I'm not going to go back and try to recoup it. I'm kind of pointing it out as a thank you. I'm not saying whatever to what they said. I'm saying whatever to responding to the game. So, we got 3 domestic actions. I'll get back to you when I decide what they are. Actually, here's the thing. It doesn't say any, but you know what? It's the same kind of any, not as this. Where was the other any 3? So any 4 diplomatic or military. This actually should say any 3, I guess it does. So I can use the diplomacy chart, but I can also use the presidential master actions. So this is like the other one, where I use the diplomatic master actions, but I can also always use the any master action as well. So, I've always got a fair handful of actions to pick from. It's not the diplomatic this time, it's the domestic. Damn it. All right. We're going to remove a tensions counter from POTUS. Cabinet focus thing. One showed up here. I figure might as well get rid of it. They're annoying. It's especially bonus because I don't want to spend APs. I could get 2 if I spent APs. There's only 1 there. I was going to do a UN speech, but no, that one's not allowable. I'll do the presidential presence. I'm having trouble finding 3, to be honest. I could forego 1 or more allowed actions to recover an AP. That might be worth it. But let me do the presidential presence. I'm not going to spend an AP on that. I make a prestige check. We know that's a D10. I do get a -1 on it. That is successful. So I get +2 public approval or +1 media relations. I think media relations are harder to get. I'm going to grab that. Public approval, you know, that's going to increase, decrease, whatever. Although getting legacy points is my point. I could actually do this more than once. But I am going to trade in and buy an AP as well, because I'm less than halfway through this first year. And that'll put me to drawing a chit. See what it is. It's probably a bunch of cards. It is 3+ cascading event. Okay. We're going to have to find out what that means. Unfortunately, when I hit the cascading events, and I look up here, it's got 1 entry. And that entry is talking about how the cards themselves work, but doesn't talk about how the chit affects it. We don't know exactly what these are called. They got a picture on them. Pictures aren't in the index. I don't think they're called events. I don't know what they're called. Now, there is a place that tells me, that shows me all the chits and what they're called. Is that the briefing? It is. That's not going to tell me what this is specifically called. Crisis chits. That's what they're called. Does it say crisis chit on here? No, it says draw 1 chit. Chit ought to be in here then. So now we look for crisis. Crisis cards, crisis chits. 9. See, I knew the cards were called crisis cards. And here we go. Cascading event. Shuffle all the cards in the 3 deck, then randomly draw 1 card and apply the results. There's only 1 in there, so I don't have to worry about that. And then it gets discarded. Oh, there's nothing in the 3 deck. Note, if there are no cards in the 3 when you draw this chit, treat it as if you're drawing a 2. Okay? Shuffle all the cards in the 2 deck. No, we're going to roll a die. Unless otherwise directed, place it in the 3 deck. If there's no card in the 2 deck, then nothing happens. Okay. So odd will be the one on top. Right. This is the scandal. Now, strangely enough, the scandal itself has cleared up, but it's making its head up here. Make a relations with Congress check. Subtract 1 if presidential prestige is 6 or higher. It is. And subtract 1 if you have Teflon. I do not. Relations with Congress. This is going to be a D10. It's actually shown on here, unlike in some other places that have the same thing, a relationship. So I'm looking at a 6, and I have a -1, and I succeed. Don't move the POTUS scandal counter and don't place a new one if there isn't currently one. But this does push forward. Now, if I had failed, I would create there would be new investigations starting about all this. Wow. It's like Benghazi, it just keeps coming back. Okay. Well, that was easy enough. War progress, wars and civil wars. This actually has the cascading decks in it. Oh, this is nice. It has all the information I needed. Whew. They must repeat that a lot. Okay. For each current war, use the war status. There aren't any regular wars. There's civil wars, though, or civil war ceasefires. Roll a d10 on the civil war brokerage. That's this. It does tell me where to look up for it. Well, I looked before, and I think it was all this is all of that. Okay. So let's look for those purple counters where they exist. We have a civil war here in the Mideast, or the Near East as I prefer to call it. The Mideast being a little further east. Iran probably counts. If you spend an AP to improve it, ceasefire, column only, no. Regional stability less than 5. Yes, that's a +1. There's no Iranian influence. Do I want to spend an AP to try to resolve this? I really don't. Ouch! Fighting intensifies. +1 to the regional crisis. Then refer to possible refugee crisis results on the regional major crisis table and determine the results depending on the location of the crisis. So now I have to find WD1 anyway, or WD anyway. WD is after WCB, but before WM. Are these alphabetical? At least these are. This is the only one that's really a problem. WD1. Okay, what am I supposed to do? Possible refugee crisis. Okay, I don't see it. Great. Results of the major crisis. See note. Okay. The region is Middle East. The expanded crisis creates a flood of refugees fleeing to southern and western Europe. Make a stability check for the Eurozone. I believe that'll be a D10 because stability is. Stability is a 6. We failed. +1 to Eurozone regional crisis. Not good. What's this? That's the economy. And place a worsening economy marker. Slip that underneath. On the Eurozone. Okay, and start causing far-right parties to appear. Right, so that was the Middle Eastern or Syrian crisis. Now we have an African crisis, or an African civil war. Sure as hell not paying for that. 8. Regional stability is not good. That goes up to 9. Fighting intensifies. Increase regional crisis 1 box. This is not good. And we have one more civil war. This one is a ceasefire. Regional stability is a 5 there. There are no UN peacekeepers, so this is at even. 10! again! Yay! Renewed fighting. +1 regional crisis. Oh. Replace CW ceasefire with a civil war counter. Should be different sides, I think. I don't know. Remove any UN peacekeepers under the Civil War. Increase highest level terrorist group by 1 level. Ugh, my back's hurting again. Okay, what was that? That was all of this. I got 4 diplomatic or military actions. And then the U.S. state of the economy. Diplomatic and military. We take a look at this, and I'm allowed to use diplomatic any under the presidential. President doesn't get military. First 3 attempts were crisis relief in the Eastern Europe, Middle East, and Africa. All of them were successful. Middle East I actually got a double success off of. I have the easier value, so I get an automatic -1 and -1 from diplomatic rating. Nobody had a high stability. I successfully put unilateral sanctions on the DPRK. I'm hoping. It's unilateral. I don't have to worry about additional tension from that, which was what I was actually worried about. Okay, now we get to the SOE support. I wasn't supposed to do it the first time. I made up for some of it, but I am supposed to do this one. So I've got a couple of economic assistance, and then whatever effects come from it, which are quite good, because I'm in good shape. Funny. This one here comes right after this one. So in a normal term, what I'm thinking is actually this one being, wherever it is, this one being not on turn 1 makes even less sense. Like, it would make more sense to me that this one would trigger on normal turns. This one would only trigger on the first turn of the game. That would make more sense to me, because I'm getting 2 U.S. economy impacts in a row with almost nothing happening. Yes, there's a few final activations that happen, but, you know, anyway, I don't know. 2 actions off of here. One of them, I'm making the Gulf states very close to me. And the second one, there's nothing else that has, oh no, this is pro-US. And I can't directly help the European SOE. Trending pro-US in one of the world regions. Yeah, there's only one world region that I'm already pro-US. I'm going to actually boost that up to a 7. Because, I don't know, I like that. I want Europe to be closer to me. Is this what it should be used for? Maybe not. But stability is what I'm really worried about. Really? I don't know. These markers that are underneath are kind of bothering me now. At least on that track, because there's a couple of counters on that track. So that clears that out, and then I get 3 public approval. I'm back up to 50% where I want to be. 2 action points, which is really helpful because I've been burning through them, and then a relation with Congress, which is also very cool, because maybe I'll get to pass things now that we're mainly out of some of the harsher stuff. That's going to push us up to here. And I think we're going to pause there. I think I'm not going to load this one up. I'm going to try to get through the whole turn. I doubt that I'll make it, but without running out of memory or something. I don't know. But I want to keep each turn to a lower number of videos, and I'm thinking like 2 videos per turn is about the sweet spot that I want to get to. And getting these 2 on the same video will help me towards that goal. This is the first time I actually physically have to do it, so this is the end of activation phase 2. So we go back to activation phase 1 and 3 and start there. I remember complaining about this before, but this doesn't actually tell me what to do, does it? Well, it kind of does. WPC 1, okay, that's fair. I was worried more about the GM and was reading this, and I'm like, it should give me a reference. It does, though. All right, I'm tired, man. Quickly do realize is I have missed keeping count on the influence markers. So let me keep both in count, to tell you the truth. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Russian influence markers now. Oop. Russia's on the other side of China. And 1, 2, 3, 5 Chinese as well. So things are getting a little uglier for me. Through quickly, there were no posture changes. Strategic capabilities, the Chinese failed on their roles, but they did succeed on espionage. To steal some cyber warfare from us, even though we are weaker, that kind of actually makes sense. I know that our government capabilities were kind of questionable at certain times when individual operators were coming up with impressive work, and Chinese would follow that kind of stuff. So it actually does work out that they would be able to steal underlying research and whatnot, or practices, in the case of cyber warfare, that maybe our country wasn't as strong in from a governmental point of view. It might seem a little weirder in some other aspects, though, to gain capabilities where, again, the underlying research is really the issue here. But it isn't affected by who has the advantage. Keep going. Chinese economy improved, and Chinese actions, we're going to be at 7 actions. This is a lot. They suggest using a die to mark that. I'm using these number counters because I suspect that D10 is used in a lot of cases here. So, yeah, they only give you 1 D10. Sure, I can pull out another one and use it. It might be easier than swapping number counters out, but right now I'm happy enough with this. Like, there aren't a lot of counters I could use, so I could like grab terror counters or something like that and just set them out for a numerical count as well, if that's easier than continually shifting these numbers. These conditional dependent actions applied, so I still have all 7 going into this. Now, how many are there? There are a lot of them. Made a cyber attack to discredit and replace U.S. as major trade partner. We get a single success. That adds a China influence. I believe that means I get a Chinese base there instead. I gotta look up a lot of shit to prove that out, but that's my memory. Oh, Belt and Road is getting us way up there as we push into the Middle East, into Central South Asia some more. Just scary. This is Chinese victory. And remember, I think 3 bases is also a victory for either China or Russia. I'm not positive about that. I'll have to look it up if I have to. Chinese base is not automatic. Expand China's influence actually caused that base to be placed. Immediately decreased the relations with Congress track by 1 box. Uh-oh. We're losing Asia. And public approval by 2. Not good. Place a trending anti-US on China's relation. We actually had a positive. It's gone down 2 with China's actions here. China is being nasty here. First thing is they ended up increasing their military versus India, which caused tensions and whatnot to grow from that. They ended up, it didn't cause tensions on me, on India itself. Then they ended up securing sea lanes, building enhanced mining, drilling, and military outposts, which caused a bunch of tensions to occur in the Asia-Pacific. Another influence marker. I got a chance and I tried to do multilateral sanctions. I just missed. So, yeah, that kind of sucks. This one's gone now. Now, we went into Central America as well. This is the last one. And then there were no sanctions to veto in North Korea or Iran. So then we went for an oil partnership, ended up in Africa. And another influence, we're up to 11 Chinese influence. That's scary looking to me. China has just like gotten one action and blasted all over the world. I'll put this over here. Just because, I don't know. But now I have to do a regional alignment check. I've never done one of those. So that is in D18. Okay, we should write in another D10 in the book because it's not telling me that, wherever it is. Well, I don't know. But I haven't done one of these regional alignments. That has an asterisk on it. What does that mean? Russian or Chinese influence does not affect a straight regional alignment check in that region, but it does affect diplomatic master. Also, proving regional alignment through providing is not affected by Russian or Chinese influence. Okay. So I find the current rating. I roll a D10. If I fail, it gets a trending anti-US. Regional alignment, where was I? I think I'm in Africa. Is only a 5. That would be a failure, which means we get a trending anti-US. And we'll put that up on top of the alignment. And that was the end of that, I think. Let's just see. Return to the turn sequence. Okay. Yeah, China scares me. Like, we had what looked like good relations with them. I don't know if that's a viable option. I'm improving their economy, and I'm like, and they're still going all over the place, getting influence in so many places that I don't know what happens. Now, I don't know what happens with these bases if they can be removed in any way. I have the suspicion they can't. And that's going to move me to an any three actions. I need to start looking at those at the base influence relationship. I thought 3 influence just automatically created a base. Didn't go look that up. But what I'm really not sure of is, given that a base was kind of hard to do, and it feels like it's a more permanent Chinese investment in the area, that it won't just be able to be taken away the way influence is. That's the case. 3 such influences will create a Chinese base. That's what I remembered. But no, when directed to, bases represent a permanent presence where 3 that can never be removed through your actions unless specifically mentioned. Some will allow you to add 15 Chinese influence across the world. I seem to remember there was something about 3 bases being an end of game, but maybe I'm mistaken. But they can't be removed, so they're terrible. Russia also has the possibility of... Oh, no, not 3 bases. It's 5 bases, because there are only 5 base counters total. Or 4... Whoa, there are only 4 base counters total. This is kind of screwy, because there's a Russian possible base as well. Russia can have a base. As well. Now, somewhere or another, there's an auto loss on bases. I have to try to find where that is. Is it over here? No. I have no idea where to find that role. I just looked under Chinese and Russian bases, which is the only place that I could reasonably think of. I looked for a collection of auto loss procedures. Maybe it's at the back of here. I doubt it, because it's not really an end of turn thing. It's if this is placed and it's not here and there's no other place you would hold them. Yeah, I don't know where it's going to remind me of that at all. Maybe. Where I had I don't see it there either. I know I read it somewhere that if a 5th base is placed, you lose. There's only 4 in the game. I don't fucking know where to find that, but I'm going to play with that assumption. And then if I do lose by that, I'll, I guess, try to find it. But boy, do things look bad right now. I mean, we went up from here to here in a year, you know. I don't know how to stop China. I'm not sure what the situation in the scenarios are, but the kind of surge that we saw China make, the kind of threat that they are, this is a newer thing, okay? It started before she really took power, in terms of actually becoming president, but if I'm thinking back to like the Bush era, it was more of a partnership with China back then. I don't remember. Is that Deng in charge? Well, and then Wu or Hu, but I feel like it wasn't until getting around 2010 or so that the Chinese posture really started moving as a real antagonist to U.S. policy, where they sort of abandoned simply trying to improve their economy and worked more towards more and more towards, exerting a dominance, which may have been the plan all along, but Xi really kind of had to, even once he took power, he had to consolidate and drive out opposing viewpoints. So I'm hoping that certainly the 2001 scenario, but also perhaps even the 2008 scenario for part of it, will not show China as this threatening. I don't know if that's possible because the charts are the same unless there's, something baked into the scenario itself that modifies those. China has a capability to really spread its power quite a bit. All right, back up here. It's afternoon now, and I'm awake. Let's figure out what I want to do. It can be any actions. Okay. I'm at a crisis point, as far as I'm concerned, with Chinese influence all over the fucking world. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about that right away. I want to try to remove them. Well, what do I need to do? I need to try to improve alignments to get them up to 7 or 8, or reduce the crisis level. That might work here, but I got to get those alignments up as well. This one I could actually hit. This one's going to be really hard work. I'm really worried that China's just going to eat my lunch here. Improve the sector, the alignment in South America, and I got the crisis levels in the Mideast and South America down. It's chit time. Oh, chit. This one could create up to 3. All right, a couple of cards to begin with. Your party fundraising practice is under scrutiny. That sounds dangerous. Choose one. Appoint an independent counsel. Or defend your party. What does the independent counsel do? Gives me some public approval. I don't care about that. Could cause cabinet drama, but get rid of the card completely. This is similar to my scandal, I think. All kind of campaign stuff happening here. All right, we're gonna appoint the independent counsel, I guess, as opposed to just calling it the Russia hoax. So. Hey. Okay, first of all, +1 public approval. Not thrilled about that, but whatever. I mean, I don't care about it. Relations with Congress goes down. Definitely not happy about that. Party relations goes down. I'm okay with that. I have 4 friends I'm still allowed, so I don't lose a friend. I would hate to lose a friend. And then I roll a die. Oh, on cabinet drama. Oh, fuck, I forgot about this. D3. Okay. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I saw the 1. And yes, I was vaguely aware. Cabinet drama. Doesn't look like any mods. Influence scandal at Treasury causes market flash crash. Place a worsening economy on the U.S. Where's my economy? I don't know. I can't tell. I can't remember where all these counters are. It's over here. Just put that under. That little bit of padding worked. And -2 public approval. Okay. That's not too horrible. It's not good, but, you know. And then over here, I need a 1 through 3. I do not get it, which means this continues as a cascading event. And now the independent counsel could cause me more problems. But I wasn't going to get rid of the card by denying it either, so there's that. Okay. We got one more card. Renewed fighting in the Balkans. Russians back Serbs. +1 regional crisis in Eastern Europe. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Hey, that's become the ICE song. Then roll a d10. Russia-NATO conflict track. I don't know. I think that's a +2. The current level. Yeah. Oh, minus. Okay. -2. The current Russian influence in Eastern Europe brings it to -1. I roll a d10. I don't have anything else I can do. I was at -1, I think. NATO pressure forces Serbs to back off. -1 regional crisis. Yay. Then, if you rolled a 2 or a 9, increase Russia-NATO conflict by 2 boxes. This is a one-time card. Oh boy. But I have more things. My nose is sniffly. Chits are kind of running out. I mean, there's a fair number, but... Another crisis card and more draws. Congressional hearing uncover problems at HHS. If you've already passed the Health and Longevity Greater Society Level 1, I don't know, but I didn't. I've got this media slant here. I don't know what that does. Okay, -1 public approval. The world is like beating up on me, and I really haven't managed to do anything. -1 relations with Congress. Oh boy. Move healthcare reform to #1 on public priority. Oh, fuck. There's healthcare reform. It just shifts up. And these, I think, fall down. It just becomes more important. Place 1 tensions counter on POTUS cabinet priority track. I cleared all those out. Now we get it back. Okay, but now we have this media slant. I don't know what that is. I'm going to check media relations at 27. Media slant, there it is. Certain crisis cards have that when you draw a media slant after performing whatever actions. Check your media relations and apply any additional public approval, benefit, or penalty. My media relations. My media relations, I did improve it. It's up to 6, which says it has a +1 public approval. Okay. That's not too terrible. So I had a problem at HHS and I get public approval out of it. I lost one, so, it's just I'm able to avoid the problem. That was the one chit there, or one card there. Now we go once more. Regional Summit. Well, damned if I know what that means. Luckily, they're all spelled out on each of these. Refer to the Regional Summit Table, WD2, and follow its directions. Okay. I need to blow my nose if I'm going to deal with new charts and everything. Follow its directions, DRMs, and decide whether to spend. Okay. Well, I don't know what kind of summit this is. It's a regional summit. When you draw it, roll a d10 to randomly select which region for the summit. Okay, we can do that. 3, it is Central America. If the regional crisis is 2 or higher, or if there's a war, level 4 terrorist, or rogue state, it's a security summit. Decided. DRMs, limited by 3. Regional alignment check above. What regional alignment check? I don't know. That's the wrong one. Regional alignment check. I had to make a regional alignment check? Then make a regional alignment check. Okay, fair enough. Regional alignment is 5. I succeed. So I have a -1. I don't know if I can afford to pay. Very close U.S. ally? No, there's no allies. There's a current war, level 4 terror, any rogue state. There is an unstable state. Wait, this didn't match. I saw the unstable. If the regional crisis is 2 or higher, or if there's a war level 4 terror group or any rogue state, no. If stability is 4 or less, stability, no. Otherwise, it'll be global issues. Okay, so it was global issues, actually. But I succeeded in the regional alignment. And that's canceled out by China. And what did I say? This is global issues. How bad can this get? Oh. I'm going to spend 1 AP for a -1. I get away with a 3. Meaningful dialogue paves way for better regional relations. Roll a d10. Decrease regional crisis by 1 box. If already at 0, then +1 to stability. Okay, that's cool. What are rogue states? Okay, rogue states look like that. All right. So that's the regional summit. We got another plus, but we don't have anywhere to put it. And that means we're going to have a big selection of things, and I'm feeling too hungry to do that. So we're on this. Okay, so this time our ally rogue group is C, which is Australia, Israel, India, and rogue. It's going to be the same kind of situation as before. It's the same process each time. One thing I do have to watch, though, is the rogue state actions. I dropped those off because they're kind of hidden behind, and there's not really a clear go do that type of thing in this, which is why I missed the first time the rogue states. That's sort of a lie. That's checked unstable states to finish this segment here, this line, but each of these is bigger. I don't know. Anyway. Australia, I did an intelligence action, then I attempted to stabilize the region, failed at that. Then on their own, they ended up essentially removing a Chinese influence, which is helpful to me. And I had to pay attention. Never going to be sure if that number's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Doesn't look good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I must have, I just removed one, but I must have added one by mistake. Onward to India. By the way, tensions with these allies, I think I spent too much effort removing tensions. Although when there's two of them, it's probably worth it to get the double. But removing a single tension from an ally probably isn't that big a deal. It reduces, it changes what they do with their unilateral action, is basically what it does. If they start collecting up a fair amount, like Japan's got a couple here, which sucks, that could conceivably end up in a situation where, and I could always do this, what is it? Where I don't get, where it ends up dropping it to close, and then I only get one action, or worse. All right, found another little piece. With Israel, my joint actions, I did an intelligent action. They have bonuses on intelligence. I get to do 2 terror groups. And then I'm going to try to strike one with the Special Operations Force. I had to look that up here to find it and write that in. We'll see what it does. Israel does neat stuff. I'm pausing midway in between because things got complicated. First of all, in that joint action, the raid ended up knocking out the unit that was here. Actually, would have knocked out 2 levels off anything. And got me intelligence on another terror group for free. We have done something else, I don't remember. And then on their own, they decided to do cyber attacks on Iran. They went after the nuclear program. They got a major success, which decreased this down. That's not necessarily good, because I don't get this back. I get back whatever's here, and now this can come back here and regain this again, even though it didn't lose it. It's a really weird, the mechanism that goes with that. But in addition, the world reacts to that. And I got this, Iran incensed but uncertain, +1 tensions on Iran and Israel, and then I roll a D10, and no further effects, okay. But yeah, we get some additional tension markers. Now, what's kind of weird is Israel's still got a tension marker on them. But the Iran one here. And I believe when we get to the bottom of this, you remove all the tension markers. So I've got like a temporary one there. They're both going to get thrown back in because that big +2 might come back out. So that was the unilateral action, and now we're on this actually. And then we go on to India. Yeah, joint actions, I did some intel and improved the crisis level with humanitarian aid there. Could have done it anywhere, but that's actually my, I don't know, Eastern Europe's bad too. And then on their own, they ended up doing me the favor of getting rid of another Chinese influence, which that is kind of the best thing they can do. It's something I'm having trouble figuring out how I can get Chinese influence out of there. So far, I haven't seen anything that does it, but local allies can help with that. But I don't know. We're looking very hard whenever we can, but I just did it in any actions, didn't I? And somewhere, didn't I? I had an any 3 actions here. Now we're on. No, we tried to lose it again. See, we did all the named ones, and then we forget that we've got this here. Oh, wait. Go to the rogue state action section to determine, then check unstable states. Oh, fuck. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Well, it's two different things. Have we done this before? If a level 1 or 2 rogue state is at war, do only A. If a level 3 or 4... we have one rogue state. It's level 1. It's not at war. Roll a d10, adding 1 to the roll if it has a counter on it, which it doesn't. We have a footprint counter. That hasn't done anything yet. Those are not good. Also, if the current war type, there is no current war. I don't know. No. I'm not at war, so this doesn't happen. So terror impact, we go to this. Place a trending anti-US on the Rogue States Region Alliance. Okay. I can't sit down and play this game much as my back is hurting to be standing. That's the regional alignment. Okay. It could have been underneath. Then roll a d10. Nope. Oh, that can't be good. Try to acquire WMDs. If a level 1 or 2 rogue state or WMDs have already been acquired, use the 7 result. Okay, we jump back down. Increase the rogue state by 1 level. Not good. Not good, not good, not good. Now, I don't know if that has any contingent effects. I don't remember any such, so I can't go look for stuff I can't remember. There's too much rules for that. Final check. Check unstable states. Roll a d10 for each unstable state in Middle East and Africa. I feel like I haven't done this rogue state action ever before. Ever. Like I've missed it twice. I'm not sure. I feel like I did this part. Okay. Middle East and Africa. We have a couple in Africa. Let's do those first. Region stability, less than 5, no. Is there an Iranian influence? No. Maybe I haven't done this either. Keep it on the map. Yeah, I remember rolling this. And the second one, keep it on the map. I got 2 of them over in the Middle East. Regional stability is not less than 5. There's no Iranian influence, so same stuff. Six. 1. Remove an unstable state and a... Wow. Oh, unstable states here. Okay, so we got rid of one. That's nice. What's on the other side of ceasefires? More ceasefires. Okay. All right, so that kind of felt like it hammered me, but I still have to do the POTUS cabinet focus, which is not here because this isn't the flip book. It's over here. I don't remember how to do this. This is the thing. It's battering me with all these different, sequences and tables and whatnot. I don't really remember, and I don't know if it's ever gonna feel like anything other than just being blown back and forth between stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I think I would have liked this a lot more when I was like in my teens. Start with focus 6. Okay. Focus 6 is screwed. I'll come back if I succeed in anything. Not great luck. I ended up succeeding in the whatever this is, domestic crisis, which got me a couple of APs. That's nice, But the only other thing I succeeded in was the economy, I think, which not great. At the end of the activation, remove one tension marker. Okay, well, there goes my least likely. But yeah, not too thrilled. Now this next one, I am not ready to deal with the legislative segment. We actually have to deal with it now. I need a break. What we did so far battered me around enough. There's other stuff here. What's going on here? Tensions counters, scandal tensions. No, these are things that happen. Okay. So we're going to be here. All right, and I'm breaking. I don't know what I'm going to do. I really don't feel like doing anything. I convinced myself to do a little bit of weed whacking, the lightest thing I can do yard work wise. I mean, I could have gone for a walk or something, which wouldn't count at all. But, and I got tired even from that. So I don't know what's going on. All right, we're on a big one. -1 box media relations. I don't know why that says box. Oh, because it's -1 box. Okay. Constantly fighting, because that one just keeps decreasing. But I don't want to make them hate me. 2 domestic actions, and then I get a legislative segment. Now, I'm in a position to actually pass some bills. These are domestic only. But that allows me to do the NEs as well on the Master Presidential. So we'll see. I get 2 of these. I'm not going to put too much thought in anymore, because I feel like I'm thinking real hard, and I think China's just going to wipe the floor with me. So I'm going to do a presidential presence. Cost 1 action. Now I could get a -1. I have the automatic -1. Do I want just a single -1? Yeah. I gotta get my media up there. Hey, I win. +3 approval and a media relation. That's really good. Back up to 50%. And the other thing I wanted to do was address a lingering domestic issue. I don't know. Do I care about that? I could, of course, trade in for an action point. Encourage bipartisanship, improve relations with Congress. Relations with Congress went down a little bit. That might be useful. So I control both houses, and my party relationship is 5 or more. I'm going to increase my relations with Congress without a die roll. Okay. Now that gets me to something we have not seen, which is the legislative segment. And let's work through it. Determine support opposition to pending bills. There are no pending bills. Attempt to pass pending bills. Nope. To attempt to pass a bill. Nope. We don't have to worry about bill quality. Add legislative friends or opponents. We didn't pass a landmark bill. How the sausage is made. Roll on D6. Modifiers are all over here. Bipartisan cooperation, not. Relations with Congress is not a 7 or greater. Public approval is not that high. Friends outnumber opponents, that gives me a -1. Okay. And it looks like we roll a D6 at -1 with the possibility of this getting really high. We get a 1. Opponents waver. If RWC is 7 or more, it's not. If it's 5 to 6, move any one bill in the pending bills section by 1 box. There are no pending bills. So I get nothing. Good roll, didn't get anything off of it. Oh no, here we go. Introduce new bills. Remove a bill currently in the cannot be passed. Voluntary remove any of your own. I don't have any. The number in the current box of bipartisan cooperations, which is a 2, if I recall correctly. Where are we? Are now introduced. If you control both houses, I get to choose which bills. I'm going to make these my top priorities, honestly, which is going to be immigration reform and cybersecurity. What happens? Place your bills in the 0 box if there's split control. Place them in the -1 box if I control both houses. Well, if they're put in the... So we got some support there. Total the media ratings of all friends, and then subtract total media ratings of all opponents. 2, 4, 5 minus 3 is +2. This is good. Then move public approval that many boxes up to 54%. I'm doing good stuff. If I could have gotten it up another one, if I'd gotten rid of, say, my opponent somehow, which I had an option to try to do, I could have gotten media relations off that. That would be good. Scandal investigations, there are no scandals anymore. Examine all your friends and opponents. If there are more moderates than radicals, it's even now. I think I got rid of a moderate opponent. So cooperation doesn't go up. And then I don't get anything because I didn't pass any bills. Now, how do I mark that these are mine? Well, that's because it's on this side rather than this side. Okay. And that got me through a big thing. Now we have a chit to pull. I want a tiny bit of a break just to take a sip of tea and whatnot. Oh shit, I just started recording, did I? Okay. very quickly, Terra Groups Merge came out here, and we had a group merge here, and I'm going to look to see if any cards should combine. If any of those cards were placed there mistakenly and should be in the reshuffle pile, because I'm having trouble distinguishing between the tiny print. This is a bit of a problem. I think I'm going to actually hold off till the next one, because I'm running low on tea. I have some issues, and I'm worried about the focused national intelligence. In particular, well, and then this is a bunch of actions, because it's one for each cabinet member in addition to POTUS. And the cabinet members may generate additional ones. Here's my problem right now. I don't remember how I got this focused national intelligence, but I probably won another one. And I'm just not sure how that got placed anywhere. Like, it happened a long time ago, maybe way back here. And I'm like, I haven't seen that option come up since, but I don't know what's here that would have given me that opportunity. It's kind of funny. I talk about why I don't like solo games. This is really exemplifying a lot of it. I'm battering back and forth between very complex procedural elements where I'm just following, some sequence in a chart and rolls and whatnot, having to remember a lot of things, etc., as I go through it in a big stack. I don't like doing things like that. I don't know, too many, I don't know. Something like I mentioned in the game Long Ball. Look, in that, I rolled a couple of dice, or Status Pro for that matter. I roll a couple of dice, I get a result. There's not a lot of room for anything there, but I'm usually not having to make a lot of lookups. Every now and then I got to make, an injury check or something like that, which makes it a little bit more complicated, but it's pretty simple. And I'm not saying this game should be like that. I'm just saying that kind of sequence of lots and lots of lookups where I'm not going to get familiarized with the absolute pattern of the game is painful to me. And then the other thing is I'm having to make choices amongst lots and lots of things with a lot of game state going on. That's another thing I don't really like. And honestly, I don't know how you can make a good solo game without those aspects, that grows above kind of the level of just a simple puzzle or nothing but randomness, and I think this is doing sort of the best it can to avoid those two traps, which aren't pleasant to a lot of people, but it's creating things that I don't like. Now, the idea of having to make difficult decisions over a broad span of different choices that you can make, that I could definitely see being very pleasant to some people. Following the cookbook, not so much. I don't think anybody, I don't know. I'm sure there are some people who like it, but I don't think there are many people. But for me, that sort of overwhelming pile of choices is very painful. I could see where you get used to this game. If you really, again, a lot of games, if you really devote yourself to them and choose to play them a lot, I could see getting really good at doing those things and enjoying it. But I browse games nowadays and don't end up getting that good. And I'm not sure I'll get that good over the course of, even if I can convince myself and I'm feeling like it's too big. There's too much hitting me here to play a bunch of these scenarios. I don't know. I was excited at first, but I feel like I get excited about things and then realize that I'm not really that excited to dive deeply into things as I used to be. As I remembered, this focused national intelligence, it doesn't give you the counters, but where you have them, it gives a chance. I got essentially no effect. I could have moved a terror group into the locating box, but everything's at least that far. And now I get a bunch of actions. What I really feel like I need to do is remove influence counters from China to try to prevent myself from losing. But I can't do that unless I have a regional alignment of at least 6, and that's if crisis is 0. Let me see. There are no Chinese in the Eurozone. Eastern Europe. I can pick on Russia. Maybe not. I can pick on nobody. Because these aren't... Well, this one's a 7. So this one I actually could pick on the Russians, but they're not my big focus. Which means I need to try to get the alignments up. I'm looking at the Secretary of State right now, rather than Defense, who is the last one and is actually quite effectual, because this feels like the most important thing to consider. Now, if I'm trying to do this, I want to improve the regional alignment, but again, anywhere where I try to do this, where China got an influence, is going to be harder. Ah, boy. I also threw my vice president in. I guess it kind of doesn't matter because Secretary of State modifier comes in anyway. I managed to get this up and remove one of these influences. I can only do one of those. That's 1 per activation segment, not just, 1 per region per activation segment. That gives me a little bit more leeway. And I also tried to improve things, or succeeded in improving things in Central America. So I improved the alignment in these 2. This one not fully. And also got rid of one of the influences. That gets rid of pretty much my diplomatic unless POTUS wants to do one. No, I don't know. I keep looking. My chief of staff to try to discredit this guy. I failed, but to no bad effect. Now I consider, I guess, my military actions and whether or not I need to modify anything, before I do them. But SecDef can only do military actions. SecDef, I dealt with the terror group, sent the special forces in. I could have droned both of them. Maybe that's more economically efficient. But I'm like, oh, if I've got them all the way up there, and I got all kind of advantages. I also shifted an intel advisor and a special ops unit into Eastern Europe to deal with the terrorists there. I've got that combination everywhere else. So that was a military move as an action. And now I've got one more action unless I want to buy some, which I don't yet. As I get down to the end, I may want to. I don't think there's anything in cleanup that allows me to spend an action point, so I may want to finish my action points up in the next activation phase. But I don't have a whole hell of a lot, so I'm kind of holding off, but I do have a decent amount. I'm just kind of worried. Anyway, then we're going to get a whole bunch of actions here, so whatever. Here I'm going to try to push support for my cybersecurity bill. I hope that does something for me, because I need more cybersecurity. So I'm using the bully pulpit. Ooh, that costs an action point. Oh well. I wasn't counting on that. And I think I came out to a 0 -1 for this, actually. And we were for the bill. We move it to the box left. We don't get much for this, but it does improve by passing something that is a public concern, a major concern for me, and okay, it's not my campaign promise, but you know, but I wanted to do that because it's hard to get to this track, and now we push into here, and I get domestic and military actions, and I got 4 of them to do. That does allow me to keep going with this as well. So I don't know, maybe that wasn't that important. Here we worked on more of the same on in terms of using diplomatic actions to try to improve regional alignments, reduce crisis. We got a successful reduction of crisis there. I don't know what else everywhere exactly. And I wasn't worried about pulling these tensions off of Japan because there are no Chinese influences in Japan, so I can't get rid of any of those. I did drop some multilateral sanctions on China, which dumped their relations down. I'm really unhappy with the whole Belt and Road and whatever initiative. That thing made me really unhappy. That's going to put us up to Section 4, assuming there isn't something secret here. And because 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 follows 3, we're going to be heading right into here on the activation phase up here. I am going to load this up simply because I feel like I'm at a point where I'm starting to get into more of the flow and whatever, but this first turn, let's just do in a lot of detail. We'll try to cut it down to 2 videos for the second turn. And then I don't know if we can ever get it down to 1 video per turn, because there's just so many little things going on. And the only way to get the narrative in some cases is to report on everything that's happening, even if I'm not showing you all the pain that I'm going through. But trust me, the pain is still there. The pain is still there. All right, let's send it up.